Come, brothers, let us purge the alien.
Alright guys, welcome to Purge the Alien. I'm Josh.
I'm Ian.
And I'm Chris.
So, in this episode, we're going to talk about a couple different things, right? We're going to start bringing you a more structured approach to our podcast.
Or so we think.
Or so we hope, right? So we're going to start off with a little bit of a hobby report, talk about what things we've been working on, go around the room, see where we're at, right? If you're painting, if you're modeling, if you're just buying stuff.
If you've been a bum and haven't done anything.
Or if you buy a lot of game mats. Ian.
Hey,
You
it's
have
a
a problem.
collection.
And then next we're going to talk about events, right? So we've been going to a lot of events. I went to LVO. We're hosting the Golden Rhino. Mm-hmm. We went to Adepticon team tournament.
Golden Rhino Primer.
Golden Rhino Primer, right? Mm-hmm. All these different events. So we're going to start doing this as a regular segment as well. Next segment we're going to talk about is games played. So obviously we all play games. We like to reminisce about the games we played, how they went, what we would do differently. Talk about that as a topic. And then we'll have a main topic each session. So in this session, we're going to talk about the Beer and Pretzels event that you guys awesomely ran and sounded like it went really well.
So much fun.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing about it. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So hobby report. Ian, where you at, man?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so for those of you who don't know or don't follow me personally, I have been working on terrain since September 2017. And by working on, I mean every single week I do something. Main reason is I'm building up a lot of this for the Golden Rhino tournament that's actually coming up at the end of July, July 31st. And basically the whole culmination behind this was that last year's Golden Rhino, albeit was totally awesome, I felt the tables just felt lackluster.
See, I thought they looked just fine.
I disagree
don't
with you.
remember, yeah.
No. So they look fine, but as a game mechanic standpoint, I could look across the table and be like, oh, that army on that side of the table is boned. Because it was just, there really wasn't line of sight blocking, right? So we tried to do that for a lot of stuff at a lot of different events. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I ran that Golden Rhino that I realized, wow, actually, it really needs it this edition.
Sure.
So
yeah. But you are hard on yourself too.
Yeah, I think so,
yeah.
too.
Train
Yeah,
looks awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's always good to constantly improve, obviously.
Yeah. But now, I mean, you guys can look at some of the terrain I've done recently, and it's night and day difference, right?
Yeah, totally.
And the whole idea to it is that I want the game to be fun, I want it to be enjoyable, but I really want to walk up to the table and go, wow, I'm battling on Mars. I'm battling in the tundras of Fenris, right?
Yeah.
But, like, you can immediately just throw a name to it, and it'll look cool. So that's the stuff that I've been working on constantly. In the meantime, though, I've actually been working on 3 armies. I don't know. I have a problem.
I don't know how you can pick time to do all that.
Yeah, I don't know how I don't just break myself. I guess it's because I do.
We'll talk about that later. Beer and Pretzels bash.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. So Forgebane came out a little while ago, and I actually really like this box set. I was very into the thought and idea of Necrons. I've always liked their aesthetics. Thought it was kind of cool. But it wasn't until their codex came out that I was like, hey, I like the way this army plays now. Mm-hmm. So I bought a couple of boxes of Forgebane, and I've been working on that half. And then Sean, our lovely Sean, he's like, I don't like Adeptus Mechanicus. I can't make it work. And a lot of people are saying that. They're like, Adeptus Mechanicus is one of the bottom armies. They put it along lines with like Grey Knights and stuff like that. And I was like, I love this army. This army looks so cool. And finally, like one day, I just like snapped. I'm like, that's it. I'm going to break this army and make it work. And so I came up with an absolute ridiculous army list. I'll explain that later with games played. But I decided to do Adeptus Mechanicus, which, long pause, if you didn't know, that was the army that was donated by us to the Michigan GT last year. So it was a big chunk of the stuff that I had already built, painted, and I was like, oh, it's cool, but I don't like playing it, so I donated it. It was a good cause.
Oh,
but,
sure.
But hindsight is 2020.
Yeah, and I have rebought everything. So that's been my latest pet project. And then I have been busting my butt trying to get it to at least tabletop standard so that I could play it at the Beer and Pretzels bash after the main event was done. That didn't happen for reasons unknown. But it's all right. And now we have the new Age of Sigmar 2.0 that's coming out. So I was like, I really want to work on my Zangor stuff. I've always liked those models. I've never got a chance to build or paint them. So now I'm building the other half of my Tzeentch demon army. I'm doing all the Arcanites and stuff like that.
I saw them in the case.
Yeah.
All primed up. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
What's the guy with the tentacles coming out of his mouth?
Vortex Mutilith Beast. I think I'm saying that backwards. Mutilith Vortex Beast. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can also build the Slaughter Brutes.
Yeah, which those things
you
are
have
awesome. They're really cool models.
Yeah.
He's my second favorite model of the things you have built. Who's the guy whispering to his brother? He's like, who's the dude from Mad Max?
It's the growth out of his shoulder.
But he's like whispering in his ears to do terrible things. I love it.
You guys are gonna kill me because I actually don't remember. It's the Changeling. No, Changeling is the demon. Yeah.
It's got a weird name because someone's told me 3 times. Because I was like, what's it called again?
Yeah, so I never played Fantasy Battle back in the day, so I didn't follow. But this used to be a named character, which is now kind of gone off, and he's turned into a type of person that falls to Tzeentch. They fall to him so hard that they grow this growth that speak truths and lies to them and the whole time, and it's he's crazy. But yeah, he's a cool model.
I saw him and I was like, why have I never seen this before?
Because it's fine cast and not carried in most stores.
Sure,
that's why.
Yep.
So,
but anytime you have a malicious guy whispering something to do bad things, it's always to model that, to make that into a model is amazing.
Yeah. So, I guess the lore behind it is, or now anyway, is that he will whisper different secrets and things. And so he's constantly hunting after the people that hold the secrets because he can learn them from this thing.
But back in the day, they were brothers, and one was super dumb and he was like smart and...
Yeah. It was it was a very GW play on, help me out here, Of Mice and Men. The book?
Books? I've never read it.
Thanks, Chris.
Do they have
What are
rules?
those? I can't think of the 2 characters' names in it, but the one's really big and dumb, and he's...
Oh.
Yeah, it's a play on that.
At
least I believe it is anyway.
I won't be able to
I can't think of the
name.
characters' names or nothing, but people at home will know what I'm talking about. Hi, phone.
We're not well read here.
That's just Warhammer. I read the rulebook quite often.
Yeah, right. So, so I've been working on those 3 things. I got a lot of terrain finished up. Actually, you saw a big portion of it in one of the battle reports with me and James.
Yeah, that's
that's the Ryza mining facility is what I'm calling it, because it's oranges and whites on top of a big, what's supposed to be asteroid, but it can be asteroid, it can be a hill, it can be a plateau, whatever you need it to be.
We had that set up at the Beer and Pretzels thing.
We sure did.
Amazing. That thing is cool.
Yeah. So I have done most of that since Adepticon. Yeah.
So in 3 months?
Yeah. So
impressive.
Yeah.
There's a lot of terrain too.
So cranked out 4 tables worth of terrain and those 3 armies.
And 4 tables full of terrain.
Yeah.
Not just a couple pieces.
And actually, you know what? I'm going to jump in on that too. So one of the things that I was starting to do was I was getting foam core from Lowe's, Home Depot, wherever it might be. And I was picking up their 2 feet by 2 feet, 1-inch thick squares for $5. They're great, right?
Of insulation foam?
Yeah, the pink insulation foam. You can get it blue depending on the place. Don't do that. They're $5, and I picked up a 30. What was it? No, it was an 8-foot sheet by 4-foot sheet, 2 inches thick for $30.
And they can cut that in the store for you, right?
So they said, but they wouldn't. It had perforations down the center of it, so I just kind of Bruce Lee kneed it.
You could even bring a foam cutter with you and just cut it.
Exactly.
In the parking lot
yeah,
real quick.
It fit in my car actually with 2 seats down. I put it all the way through from the trunk back. Nice. It barely fit, but it did.
It was $30.
But it was $30 for that. So I built the foam core for the Ryza terrain you saw. I built all the Fenris ice terrain you guys saw at Beer and Pretzels Bash, and I built. I have a bunch of stuff cut out for the lava mat that I just got, and that is 1/2. I haven't even gotten to the other half yet.
Wow, that built a lot.
Yes,
there's a lot.
And I'm talking double stacking it and stuff. So some parts are 4 to 6 inches tall.
Yeah,
I'm hiding knights behind it.
That's cool.
And maybe during the hobby segment, you were talking to me about protecting it better because they're kind of
Yeah,
chipping away.
yeah.
So maybe touch on that in the later segment.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'll just get to it right now because I'll forget otherwise. So I built it. I cut everything out with a foam cutter, and then I have PVA glued in sand. Very traditional effect, right? But a lot of the areas where I use the hot wire cutter, I wanted it to show that really jagged or ripped, and it looks really cool. But what I didn't realize is that it's still soft. It's actually very soft. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was telling me that one of the things that she would do with some of, because she would get craft foam, the white stuff you'd see at like Joann's or Michael's or whatever, and she would take Mod Podge, mix it up, and coat it. And I was like, oh, really? Okay. And I was like, whatever. I've got sand and glue on there. No, it absolutely needs it because there's been a couple of times that I've like touched it with my fingernails too hard, and now all of a sudden pink is showing through.
Now, Mod Podge is like that plaster-esque
No,
thing?
it's the clear. It's a clear acrylic. Usually you use it, so you'll take like a coaster, right? And then you want a cool picture of you and your friends on there. You'll cut it out, put it on there, and you'll Mod Podge over it, and it seals it in.
Laminate
Yeah,
type deal.
yeah.
Sure.
Like, and they got like a ton of different types. Like there's matte, there's satin, there's gloss. All this just depends on which one you're looking for.
And can you buy it in bulk to where you can cover your 8 by 100?
So, like, yes and no. It looks like it comes in, like, quart size is the biggest. I bought one that was, like, a 2-part epoxy is what it looked like. But you just kind of squeeze it out, spread it around, and it's good. But definitely use some cheapo brushes for that stuff.
Yeah, because those will be destroyed.
Yeah, right? But, yeah, I probably should have done that. I'm not saying that the terrain isn't, bad already, but...
I think our packing away in a rush after.
I'm a little worried about that, yeah. I mean, I'll see it when I actually see it in person, but I'm not. It is what it is, and we'll just touch it up and go from there. But for you viewers at home, take a little bit of time. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, if you're going to put all the work into making terrain,
Yeah, another thing you could even do probably is do something as simple as paper mache on top of it, because that would just give it a second layer of protection. Because that pink foam core, super lightweight and dents easily.
Yeah.
So, that's me.
Don't forget to clear coat it though too. Clear coated. We haven't clear coated.
No, we haven't. Yeah, you should definitely seal it when you're done.
Especially since it gets probably the most use. It gets more use in your armies.
You do have to be careful with that too, though, because if you have any that are like aerosol, that are, if you have any blank spots where the pink foam is, it will eat that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
which I've actually used for terrain. Like I made this gnarly mutilated swamp nurdle river, and because it melted the foam in a way that looked gross, and I just
it's a good idea.
Yeah, if you spot hitting things too, it can look like asteroid.
Oh
craters,
yeah,
pock
craters,
marks.
sure.
Yeah, it gives you a really cool pockmark effect. But yeah,
cool. Chris?
Yeah, I've been slacking, but I've been I've been helping out as much as I can with your terrain.
You've been to my store twice a week, each week, painting gray buildings.
But I'm slow and easily distracted in the store with all my friends and stuff. I'm like, oh, cool, butterflies.
Stuff on the walls that you want to buy.
Yeah. So I go up there and I paint, and people give me a hard time because I'm still dry brushing the second layer. But I'm like, you can't rush perfection, but I will rush perfection.
Yeah, I will totally agree with you on that.
And it's hard to paint terrain that's not like you personally own for your table. There's not a lot of motivation, but it was for Purge for the Golden Rhino, for Beer and Pretzels Bash. So
it's gonna get its use.
Yeah, it was needed to be done. So I was up there doing that. But when I wasn't doing that, I've been building Drukhari. Got the Codex. Really excited to bring some Xenos to purge other people on Purge the Alien Battle Reports, but it's gonna be a little while but I've got 3 Raiders built. I'm doing this conversion with a tri-sail on the Raider. It looks really sweet. Yeah, I was gonna surprise you, but I didn't know how exactly it was gonna work, but I think I've played around with it in my mind.
So you got it like a catamaran then? Is it where the sails are way towards the front?
No, I'm doing there's the center sail, and it's got a little thing that's curved that the sail turns on.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna cut. I have extra sails from the other Raiders. There's 2 different sails you can get. You can get the double one or the single one. So I got the double one in the center, and then I'm gonna cut where it goes into the peg where you can turn it, but I'm going to cut them at an angle and glue it to it. So it's going to be like one dead center, two diagonal, and it looks really cool. But I haven't actually done it. I just kind of mocked it up. And then I'm going to put another fin at the back, tail fin on the bottom, and I'll make that for like, you know, my Archon's Raider and stuff like that. So Raiders, Grotesques, I put a Talos together, but I built everything and primed everything, but now I can't buy like the things. Like I need more racks, and I need Taloses. I need everything. Like
all that stuff is sold out right now.
And it's been sold out for a while, but that's what happens when you jump on the hype train, you know. But it gives you time to paint things and get your stuff together.
Well, I will say this. So when Thousand Suns came out, the Mutalith Vortex Beast was introduced for that army, and that was just sold out forever. Mike Jeffries was even having a hard time getting it.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. And then now I went back and I'm like, I'm going to order one, and it's still there. So they're catching up.
Exactly.
It's just give it time.
Well, I haven't painted one model, so I'm in no rush. But I would like to play a little bit around with the army before I make my Death Guard mistake of painting, like being that guy where it's like, I'm not playing unless everything's painted, and then I do it. I'm like, I can't use half of this because I can't build a list. And then
don't say that though, because that can be kind of discouraging to some people. Because the one thing that I actually really like about what you painted up for your Death Guard is that if you have, let's say you were at my store and there was a newer guy that wanted to play a game, right? You could pull out something fully painted and not be like, because I was looking at when I was playing one of my games, I was like, oh yeah, I'll pull out all the stuff that I have that's painted. I've done nothing but paint for tournaments lately, so my army list was brutal. No matter what I did, I had to pump some serious brakes.
If you need that casual game against a new person,
I'm like,
you don't want to like throw the DEFCON list out.
I had to throw like half of it most of the time, and I was just like, I'm not doing that. No.
But which is funny though, like now that the meta is kind of changing and stuff, I pulling these models that I painted long ago and thought I would never use,
Pull them into the list.
And they're I'm like, oh sweet, it's painted.
That's why you don't get rid of models, man.
Nope, never. Yep.
Regret.
But that's it for me. Other than that, painting terrain and building Drukhari.
I listen to Preferred Enemies too, and shout out to you guys if you listen to this. But like, I was listening to Preferred Enemies, and they're like was explaining the mechanics of Drukhari, and it sounds so cool, man. Like it's very unique, right? Yeah.
Like the first thing I did was buy the objective card deck and stratagem deck, and I pulled out all the stratagems and what I do for every army. Like I have Dark Angels I've done this with, and Death Guard where I'm pulling out like 5 that I know I'm going to use. With Drukhari, it was like this one. I can probably use this one, and it was like the whole stratagem. I'm like, this is going to be the funnest army ever. So I'm gonna, no matter what, play with a Coven, a Cult, and a Cabal. So I can get just to whammy someone with some stratagems.
You can play the game.
Yeah,
exactly.
And one thing I gotta say is I thank you for the big FAQ giving us 5 and 12 command points. For taking just the battalion or the brigade. Like some people are like, oh, thanks, you just made guard players. I'm like, you know what? I don't even care about that. You literally just gave me more toys to play with.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was just like, that's nice.
You can have as many as you can get. I want some to play around with too. I don't care if you have triple.
Well, when we were talking Adepticon, I trained myself to use 1.
Oh, yeah.
Can you guys do that? Yeah. And to like good effect, right? Like,
depending on your army.
Yes, right? It's just, but it feels better now.
Heck yeah. Yeah. So for me, terrain, man.
Terrain,
yeah. So painted the Fortress of Redemption.
Thank you.
So I'm preparing for the Beer and Pretzels, even though I couldn't make it, unfortunately. But yeah, the terrain I think came out pretty good. The Fortress of Redemption I painted, I'm pretty happy with.
Spot on, man.
Yeah, it looks good.
That is great.
I saw it, and I was the next day I dusted off some Dark Angels.
Oh yeah,
I was
what,
jealous? What?
Yeah, I might use it in a list for a battle report.
I had no idea it was like a Dark Angels like fortress.
Yeah, it's actually
cool,
from the index was pretty cool actually, but I haven't revisited it.
Nice.
In the codex, but
it suffers from terrain syndrome, right? Yes, it's a fortification. Yes, you can take it in your army. No, nobody does.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a cool piece of terrain.
It is. Yeah.
I'm gonna use it.
Yeah.
If I can.
There you go, man. Yeah,
of course you can.
So yeah.
Oh, thank you.
At this point, it's ours.
I would say at the end of the day, whatever terrain's available, is pretty much available to everybody. So yeah, working on a bunch of terrain. I did the Fortress of Redemption. I finally painted up that Pegasus bridge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. Just did the lead belcher on it, did a bunch of dry
Techno
brushing.
bridge.
Yeah, the Techno bridge, that thing's pretty sweet. I saw it was used at the Beer and Pretzels. I'm happy with that.
You did an unboxing of that too,
Yeah, I did
right?
unboxing of it.
On
It's-
YouTube, check it out.
It's cool, man. I'd highly recommend it. It's a pretty cheap, model, and it
Yeah, it
totally
was
complements.
$15 or something like
Yeah,
that.
$15. You can use it with the
Pegasus,
river
right?
that they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pegasus. Yeah, I was
They've
looking
got
at
some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have like the Gothic City stuff that I was thinking about picking up at some
A
point.
lot of that is pre-painted, which has
really?
actually been an off-put for me.
Oh,
Because I like to
yeah.
paint the stuff.
Yeah, so do I.
But
Paint it. I'll buy it, paint it. I don't care. I don't want to touch it.
I like painting the stuff too. It just takes a while, right? I painted the Sky Shield landing pad, which was also pretty fun to paint. Both of them still aren't completely done, I think, but they're pretty tabletop
playable.
ready.
Absolutely.
You also, I see a nice compressor and airbrush. Down
Yeah,
there you
man.
picked
Finally
up.
trying out the compressor and airbrush. The airbrush seems to spewed out too much paint. I gotta play with the pressure or something on it. Trying it out. They're awesome though. Highly recommend. And then working on some more terrain. Got some terrain built and primed, which was pretty good. What's it called? The trenches. Mortar trench line.
Yeah. Wall of Martyrs.
Wall of Martyrs. Yeah, those things are
That's
cool.
another classic set that I really hope doesn't go away anytime soon.
know.
That's a good one. And it's the fact that it's flat at the bottom, you can incorporate it into it. Surprise, a lot of foam.
Yeah,
So you
exactly.
can immediately get some heavy detail. That's cool.
They're cool sets. The end pieces have been out for like a few weeks though.
Yeah. Don't quote me on this, but I think that's one of the sets that's still manufactured in China.
Yeah.
So they order a huge amount, have it shipped to the UK, and then that's dispensed throughout the rest of the world. But don't quote me on that. I'm just totally guessing. Because I know a lot of their other terrain was done that way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, just a bunch of that, a bunch of terrain. Haven't really had time to work on the guard a little bit. After I got back from Adepticon, I busted out some stuff, more details on that plane, that Avenger Strike Fighter.
It looks so good. Like
That's
I
cool,
instantly
man.
spotted it in your case from across the room. I saw the white stripes. Did you do that with the airbrush?
No, all by hand, man.
It looks good, man.
Yeah. It's cool. I mean, as soon as you start adding the decals to stuff and like actually adding a little bit of detail, it just pops so much more. So yeah, other than that, that's it for my hobby progress. Working on some other stuff for Purge the Alien, but yeah.
Good.
Cool.
Moving forward.
So events. Golden Rhino Primer.
Yeah, it went really well. It actually went way better than I expected. Didn't get as many people to show up, but I mean, tournaments always get dropouts. You can expect, what do they say, like a 3% are just going to not show up. But even still, we had 7 tables worth of people playing. I ended up calling in a couple of favors to get 2 ringers, which was really cool. So shout out to Gino and to my buddy Andrew, best man. He showed up, both of them teamed up together to fill in for it. But that tournament, aside from like 2 basic things, which were like no big deal, I literally could have played in it. It was so smooth.
Oh, really?
I did not expect that. I got called for judge once, and by all people, it was one of the playtesters, which I thought was hilarious.
It's funny.
And then there was one like rules dispute at the end of a match, and that was it. I sat there. I built 3 destroyers for my Adbec. I built 2 Armiger Warglaves, and I twiddled my thumbs. And then I went up and figured out, oh, we can do prize support, and I started hammering that out.
That's
I'm like,
cool, man.
Yeah, I actually got quite a bit done.
Where was that hosted at?
So that was in Wixom at Imperium Games.
Nice.
They're right off 96. Really good location. Great location for gaming at. They're kind of in a not very visible location from the road, which is unfortunate. So when you come off 96 going going east, you're going to actually hang a left, and it's on the right-hand side. It's with Meineke Car Repair and like a Toby something or other construction.
Yeah, you gotta look for like the metal sign.
Yeah, they have an A-frame that sits out front, which was a good idea by them. But no, the event was really, really good. We only did 3 rounds, and for those of you that don't know, it's 1250 points per player on a team. So it's a 2,600 point battle is what you're looking at. 25. You're right. 25. I can math. So I'm still recovering. Yeah, it's 2,500 point battle, but it's on 6-foot tables, and you're duking it out. We're doing the ITC Champions packet. It's actually, we did get it official. It is an ITC tournament for both the primer, or for the Golden Rhino itself. The primer was just the practice. But we're using the Champions packet. If you go to, frontlinegaming.org, and you check out their ITC season 2018, go down to July 31st, boom, the Golden Rhino is on there, which is pretty cool.
Status.
Yeah, right? Moving up in the world. But yeah, it's the primer was awesome. All the guys that worked at Imperium were awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a special shout out to Adam.
Yeah.
I special ordered a Raider from him.
Yeah.
And he's like 35 minutes away from me. He was like, I can drop it off to Ann Arbor if you need me to.
Oh,
and I was
really?
like, dude, that's so cool.
Wow.
But no, I'm not going to put you out like that. So don't expect that if you go there. He's not going to drop it off.
Yeah.
But that's super good. They'll bend your back for you.
Yeah. Adam was super cool. So I wasn't really sure what we were expecting. He was only charging $10 entry fee for this, right? Which, to go to a tournament and have fun and basically guarantee yourself 3 games, $10 ain't bad.
Prize support.
He then matched it. So everybody that paid $10 in, he put in $10 of his own money to make the prize support.
Oh, wow.
So everybody got their money back basically in store credit, and then the winners actually took home.
So you went to a
prizes.
free tournament where
Yes.
you got stuff.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, that was really awesome. I don't think he needed to go quite that far. I don't think anybody expected that, especially myself.
Nope.
So thank you very much, Imperium Games
Yeah, you guys rock.
and Adam. So
I played in it. It was awesome. It was
yeah,
fun.
you and your teammate
Jack.
Yeah.
Jack the man. He's been on a battle report. I won't tell any spoilers, but we were in a battle report together.
Oh, he kicked your butt, right?
I wouldn't say kick my butt, but I was talking to him. He's like, "Can I get on battle report?" I was like, "Yeah, man. Who do you want to play?" And he was like, "I want to play you." I was like, "No, you sure? Anyone else but me?" But no, he came and conquered. But me and him team up. Death Guard. We won best painted.
Yes.
Nice.
So hands down, one of the best looking armies.
Thanks, man.
You guys went from every little icky bit on the top of their horns all the way down to their base.
Painted every bolt on every
That
Blight
was.
hauler.
You showed me that on the Blight Hauler. That was ridiculous.
But I did a little campaigning too. Like we set up the displays and I'd walk in. I was like, "Dang! Did you guys see this Death Guard army? It's incredible!" And then I'd walk out,
It's just run away.
and everyone knows it's mine. So they're just like, what a man!
What I thought was hilarious was at the end of the event, I was asking everybody to set up their armies so people could go around and judge. And you went around to every table and stole whatever creepy looking thing you could to make the backdrop of your army.
Improvised display table. You got it. And I ended up with all the monastery thing.
Oh,
It looked
nice.
great. I wish it was mine.
Yeah.
But
You have a monastery set though, don't you?
Yeah.
yeah, it's not painted. Well, we have one. Actually, Mike Jeffries won it at the last Imperium game. He won a gift certificate and then was like, "I'm going to buy this." And then he handed, "Will you paint this?" I was like, yeah,
That sounds
totally.
like Mike.
Yeah, but it's prime. No, it's not prime. It's cleaned and assembled.
There you go, man.
That's cool, man.
Games played for you?
Oh, yeah. Well, is that what we're going into? We're going into games played now? Oh, yeah. There's a line for that.
Well, Golden Rhino. Golden Rhino. We can talk about the Golden Rhino.
Oh, yeah.
about the
Yeah.
primer.
So the primer, oh gosh, what was that? End of April? No, I'm not even going to put a date on it. I don't remember. I'm sorry. But it was cool. It was an event. You should check it out. So the Golden Rhino itself is coming up in July 31st. It is a 60-person, 2-man team tournament, and it is completely sold out with literally a 2-page waiting list.
That's amazing.
I did not, I kind of knew it was going to be big this year. I did not expect it to be quite like that. I've even had 7 people drop out and tell me that they for sure cannot go, and immediately had them places replaced, which is just crazy. So the one thing I will say, next year will definitely not be a team tournament again, because the one problem that I did not expect is that a lot of times one person would lose their teammate and say, "Hey, I have a friend that wants to join." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool, but I have a waiting list. You can't just jump the line like that," which makes me feel kind of bad. So it is what it is.
Situation.
It is, yeah. But you know what? At the end of the day, the whole tournament itself it's fun, it's funny, and it's meant to be about the community. So you're playing with, you know, a bunch of other people you're learning to make friends with anyway, so it hasn't been a problem yet. I haven't had anybody be like, oh, I absolutely will not play with so-and-so. No, they've been like, oh, okay, well, I guess I can do that. And then so far it's turned out okay. So
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking you were going to say it's like a fire code issue.
yeah.
Because that's a lot of people.
We'll find out when we get there. Because it probably is. But yeah, so it is going to be hosted again at the Highland Library, Highland Township Public Library for the Warhammer Club that's hosted there. It is July 31st in Highland Township, Michigan. And we get the basement room to the library. It's their big community room. I don't know the square footage on it, but it is going to be
big.
It's going to be shoulder to shoulder in there. I'm telling them right now they need to make sure that AC is working.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because I do not want
cool there.
I do not want a repeat of, you know, sweaty troll funk day.
Oh, man.
So
That's every day, depending on, you know, what you're doing.
right. But anyway, one thing that I decided this year is that we're going to do the ITC Champions missions. So everybody can go to frontlinegaming.org, look those up, and practice them right now.
Study.
If they want to, right? Like I don't have to worry about it. I'm literally just plugging, dropping, and going.
That's what all like the pros, you know, that's what they
That
do. That's what
is
they
the
build.
point.
They build their list depending on the mission packet. And
Yeah,
it's-
and anybody that says that, oh, that's not fair, or that's not as fun or enjoyable, it doesn't matter what missions are being played, everybody builds a list to the missions to some extent.
Yeah.
Like, look at Adepticon, right? Even those guys were talking about, oh, we're going to Adepticon, well, we know it's going to be a bowling alley of terrain, so I'm going to pick stuff that's not going to be on the table, that deep strikes, or I'm going to pick stuff that parks myself in the corner so far that I can just hammer you from a distance. Every single list looked like that. And what it ended up winning it out, it was 7 Flyrants that half of them deep struck.
Sure.
Like,
If you're looking for the mission packet for the Golden Rhino, it's up on our website.
that
right?
too. Yes,
Golden
it is.
Rhino.
Yeah.
PurgeAlien.com, and then click on the Golden Rhino tab.
Which I do need to. I have a third and final update for that because there are some things that I wanted to change or at least clarify. Like I have a lot of people that have been submitting lists with Battlescribe, which is great, but it can be highly inaccurate.
Yeah.
So I am not allowing Battlescribe or a list built on Battlescribe at all this year. In fact, one of the stipulations I'm putting in is that if you build a list on Battlescribe and don't have it double checked through pen and paper, whatever it might be, the list is null void immediately. The second part too is that if I see anybody pulling up Battlescribe to quickly check a rule, I'm immediately disqualifying you. You need to have your book in either digital format or a PDF of the rules. It needs to be Games Workshop. I'm not taking any chances. Yes, this is a 3-round, fun, enjoyable tournament, but I cannot tell you how many times I've had Battlescribe be wrong. Like in 7th edition, especially, one of the ones I remember was funny was I would give Veterans of the Long War to my Possessed because it cost 5 points, not the 50 it was supposed to.
Jeez.
You know, I mean, and today where people are irked about 15 points on Gilliman, like, I just don't want any confusion or any hassle. Battlescribe is cool when you're playing with your friends at home. They do a great job. I understand that that's a community-driven thing. I'm not handling it. Pull it up on Google Docs, for God's sakes. You can plug in all the information you need to on that and type it out.
And I know that sounds like strict, but really it comes down to this is for your opponent. You know, you
Exactly.
don't want to bone your opponent over with a list that you could have easily. Like, I'm going to build mine on Battlescribe, and then I'm going to double check everything.
Exactly. That's exactly what you need to do.
It's not fair to your opponent. Because
go ahead, continue.
at the Michigan GT, I played against someone who had an illegal list.
Oh, yeah, because he had 5 decimator dimensions, right? Yeah.
And
he wasn't paying. He was paying 160 instead of 210.
Yeah.
Per. That's a huge difference.
Yeah, 50 points. That's huge.
And then what ended up happening? The tournament judges or the officials had to say you were going to drop him, and he said no, I'm not allowing that. So he literally got rid of other things from his list instead of the illegal units, which. Whatever, that's the event, so be it. But that is absolutely not how I'm going to handle that, and I want to make that very clear.
At the end of the day, it's for your opponent, and it's, you know, you don't want to be... Imagine if you win with an illegal list.
That happened.
I would not
that has
want.
happened.
Yeah.
And the guy has had to step forward and say, hey, I'm sorry, my list is wrong. Please do not take me as first place.
Yeah, you don't want...
And that's legit, but, I mean, you don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
And if you do want to be that guy, don't come to the event, please, because you suck. I mean, I don't like you.
I know, Chris is already on the bad table.
Yes. That's fine.
No. But all things aside, as far as rules go and stuff like that, it's $30 to get into the event. There's a catered lunch. I have Alan K. Ryans from Howell that's coming out doing their burgers and fries and ranch, their homemade ranch. Oh.
Those burgers, there's the same people that did the burgers last year, right?
Yes.
Oh, they're so good.
They're so good.
Yeah.
We get a full 30 minutes to just chill and eat lunch. Yep. I'm going to do a little painting contest for it like I did last year. This year, though, I've actually broken it down as far as ITC goes. So there's basically 11 questions, and every time you answer one of those questions, or you can prove that you did one of those checkpoints, you get the points for it.
Cool.
Rather than being a painting contest all to itself. Which is really nice. I have the whole thing broken down, like you said, Josh. It is on the website. Yep. You can check that out and read that in full detail if you want. And it's going to be a blast. I know it was absolutely last year. I know everybody that played had a ton of fun. And the greatest thing, too, is that every time I've done this, I've learned from something, and I've tweaked it and made it that much better.
Better every time.
Right?
What's awesome is Purge Alien's going to be streaming it again.
Yeah.
We got to check the internet. Internet's a little...
Well, we got to make sure we warn the IT guy at the library.
They shut us off last year.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I peaked the system so hard they thought they were being hacked.
Yep.
Yes, the Highland Township Public Library in Michigan in reports today was hacked by local
gaming group. Yeah.
Purge the alien.
Oh, man, that was great.
Yeah, so we'll stream it. Hopefully we'll have more than one table going. We're going to see how that works out. But
we were kind of discussing that. So we'll probably do like what we did last year, where we had one main table where you'll watch it like you would the battle reports. But then we'll probably have a couple of cameras set up on other tables that are just streaming to Facebook Live or YouTube Red. Make it
just in the
super
room.
easy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So...
Excited for it.
That'll be cool. Again, that's July 31st. It is a Tuesday. It is an all-day Tuesday event, and it's going to be awesome. So
looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Awesome. So with that, then I think we're going to take a quick break before we jump into games played. Be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, this is Josh again, and on behalf of everyone at Purge the Alien, we just wanted to say thank you. Thanks for listening to our podcasts, watching our battle reports, and reading our articles. We're here for you, producing content by gamers, for gamers. So thanks again for joining us, and we're happy you're here. Now, let's go ahead and get back to the show.
All right, so jumping into games played. Ian, you want to kick us off here?
Sure, because I get to play so often. All right, so outside of Adepticon, I don't think I've played a game.
No way. You've been doing that much hobby.
Yeah, I think so. Well, it's just, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that gets in the way, and usually when I come home, I do a lot of hobby stuff. I literally was working on that AdMech army to play at the Beer and Pretzels event, and then I didn't get a chance to. I know I played like a literally 1 hour, 2-round quick game as part of like a demonstration with Richard, who was actually at the Beer and Pretzels. He played Ultramarines. I was playing with my Necrons after I'd just gotten them. And I had put them together, and we just did like a quick 1,000-point game or something like that, just to try to kind of run through it. But I honestly can't tell you much other than scouts suck for that, because in that one I had set up everything, and then I had the deceiver, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do the deceiver trick, a deceiver, move a bunch of guys, and actually it backfired on me. It forced me to move my guys where I didn't want them to at all, and I was like, oh well, that was completely useless. I should have just moved forward and just shot. But
so scouts don't suck; they're actually good.
Yeah, they're actually really good. We talked to Eddie at the Beer and Pretzels Bash about those guys. So, yeah, I'm trying to think, man. I played that. Oh, I played my game here against James.
Oh, okay.
On that,
nice.
You know. So I don't want to give too much of that away because
spoilers.
that was a good one. So I played my Alpha Legion 2K versus his Tyranids. I forget which Hive Fleet he was using, but that was on the new Ryza terrain that I painted up.
That terrain is awesome.
And that was a really good game. I highly recommend you guys watch it. But other than that,
I have to edit it, and it'll be out next week. So
check it out on YouTube.
So when you listen to this in 2020, remember it's in 1 week. Honestly, I have not played much at all. I just don't get a chance to. I really don't. But it's okay. There's 3 aspects of the hobby: building, painting, and playing. So I just maximize on the other 2.
There's also the lore.
Yeah. I said,
You read the books.
That's true. That's true. No, I unfortunately cannot give you very much of a good story or battle report yet. Once I play my ad mech and prove to everybody how good it is, I will absolutely let you know. But until then, Chris, how about you?
I played at the Primer, the Golden Rhino Primer, and I did a bat rep with Jack's Death Guard, and that's about it. But at the Primer, me and Jack, we had our 2 Death Guard armies. Every game was fun. We won one, we lost one, we tied one. But the one we lost was a tough one. The terrain was set up so perfect to destroy my army.
Who set up that terrain? God.
It was crazy.
Okay, so I'm going to interject for like 5 seconds. So I got there like super early to like set up the train. I'm like, oh, I'm going to move some of this stuff around. And no offense to those guys, but holy cow, I had to make mountains out of molehills.
Yeah.
I literally, a couple of tables, I had 3 bunkers or the equivalent of a bunker stacked on top of each other to make one line of sight blocking piece of terrain.
Yeah. I mean, that's just this edition.
It is. It really is.
I ran into the exact opposite problem on the 2 tables I
Well,
played on.
Once I did that with the 3 bastions or the 3 bunkers, I was like, that's it. I got to really double down on it. So every table, I was cramming stuff on top of each other to make that. So you're welcome.
Well, I was not happy about it. What's the diagonal setup deployment?
Vanguard?
Vanguard.
Vanguard hate.
Yeah, but the terrain was perfectly set up for them to pick that with all line of sight blocking terrain on that diagonal.
Okay,
with
that one-
5 basilisks behind it, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
So that one is totally my fault. I did that on purpose. There were a couple of tables that I was like, if they get this deployment, how would it look? And that's how I set up the table.
It looked really bad for me and Jack. But there wasn't much we could do about that. Still a good game. Played against some good players on that one.
So, actually, I'm sorry to interject again. What did you learn from that game?
I learned that winning deployment is pretty important. You know,
Even still.
Yeah, you know, I kind of, because what is it? You roll. You can either, whoever wins that roll off gets to pick the deployment and the setup.
Yeah, so they randomly determine deployment and choose
The side.
Yeah. But then the other team gets to drop 1 unit.
Right,
Or
right.
the other player. Yeah.
But yeah, they got that, and it was brutal. So deployment, I've actually learned a lot about the deployment things, styles. How you set it up is very important. Like if I ever get to choose a certain deployment style, depending on army, like Gene Stealer Colt, I'm doing hammer and anvil, so I only have to do a line against 2 feet, and then have all that room in the back to put all my stuff. So when they pop out of the shadows and charge me turn 1 and destroy my front rank, which they're gonna do, they can't move into my guys. So
That's actually a really good point.
that's what I'm gonna like. It's so like from these games, deployment style really, the deployment map is super important. And I know for like our battle reports and stuff, we usually just do Dawn of War because it's easy for the setup and camera style. But I won't be doing that anymore. Other than that, we played.
Didn't you play something
played
at my
a battle
store?
rep too, didn't
Well,
you?
yeah.
Well, my partner Jack.
Yeah.
I played against him. I played his Death Guard versus my Dark Angels, and Jack's a really good player, really great guy.
Jack's not a really good player. He is really tactically smart.
Yeah.
He is, no offense to him, but surprising. He came in off the street at my store, like first time meeting him, I'm like, oh cool, you're getting back into the hobby and all this. He's a great guy. And every time he plays a game, I can just watch him. Those gears click flawlessly.
And I actually didn't pick him for that. I had no idea his skill at all. I saw his army, his Death Guard army, and I was like, dang, those are as good as mine. You want to be partners? Let's win Best Painted. And then I'm like playing with him. I'm like, oh man, we might win best. We might win all of our games because he's good. He knows his rules, and he's on point. So I really am the sandbagger of this team.
Hey, but remember, sandbags hold objectives.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And that's important too.
Yeah, totally. And we're playing the same army, so I'm like, what do I do?
Well, the other advantage too to that is that you guys can buff each other. You can help each other with your own abilities. Whereas
we're competing against each other in Best Painted.
for Best Painted.
I
But
think he
that's
might be
for-
going demons for that.
He did talk about that, allying in some demons. Hey, no, more power to him, right?
Yeah.
Right, but yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much my games played. I haven't played much. I've been painting terrain and putting arms on Drukari models.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no games played since
Josh,
Adepticon, man. I think we're all kind of in the same boat.
Yes,
I mean,
yeah.
It's been
tried to
busy.
set up a game and fell through, unfortunately. Other things came up.
yeah.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, that
well,
right.
The one I showed up for, I didn't get the message.
Oh,
I was sitting,
yeah,
everything's
just
set up,
hanging out.
games ready. I'm like, man, maybe I should check my phone. Oh, Messenger's off. Oh no!
Yeah.
But-
So hopefully get some games in soon. So
What kind of games, Josh?
just Warhammer games, preferably.
Okay. Well, no, because the last time we talked, you were talking about Age of Sigmar. I know you haven't gotten a chance to
Oh
play.
yeah, I know
Right.
that requires more hobby progress, right? So I used to, for those who don't know, I got into the hobby doing Age of Sigmar, Warhammer Fantasy, actually 8th edition.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So all my models, a lot of my Warriors of Chaos models are painted, but they're not on round bases.
Yeah.
It's okay
Square
to learn how to
bases.
play, though.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it's-
agree.
yeah.
Yep. So we'll get there.
That's how my orcs and goblin looks too. They're all
Oh,
square
yeah.
bases. And
We just need to have a round basing party, man.
yeah. That sounds like not fun at all. It sounds like a lot of like
you know-
band-aids are going to be need scraping off the guys
Yeah,
from their
yeah.
bases.
I have a solution for both of you. It's great. You ready?
Start a new army!
Yes!
The salesman.
Everybody's
always
salesman.
here.
Yeah.
Moving on.
But I want to do the Spirit Hosts.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
those
Yeah,
models are
dude.
sweet.
I watch a lot of
We're
Ghost
not diving
Adventures.
into that rabbit
That's
hole.
that is
No,
a rabbit hole.
they're amazing.
All right.
Okay. Oh, so what's this? Are we getting to the main topic?
Yes, let's go ahead and jump into the main topic, Beer and
Okay.
Pretzels. So pretty much everyone was there except for Mike and I, and it looked awesome.
It was so
Yeah.
much
You guys
fun.
want to give a quick overview of what it was?
Well, let's start with this brainchild, shall we? It was a Friday evening.
It was a bad day for me and Sean.
Yeah, I don't know. It was one of those things where it was just one of those days where it's like, you know what?
Let's get a drink.
Yeah, right. And so we left the store. We're going off. We're just gonna go get like a beer or two. I gotta drive all the way back, like 30 minutes to get home. And we're like, all right, we'll just go up to the local bar, right? So we go up to Frazier's.
Yeah.
Right. Super cool place. So cool. It was packed. Literally every table had like a wait. So we're like, well, is there anything that's like around that we could go to? And Sean was like Googling it and, whatever. And I think you actually were trying to search stuff. And we realized that Banfield's Bar and Grill was right up the street from there. So we're like, we'll go there, right? And no joke, we pull up and I'm like, oh man, is this a classic Cheers bar?
Yeah.
It is a hole in the wall. The sign isn't lit up.
Everybody knows our name now.
Yeah. And we get up there and it's like, 4 big like concrete steps, right, that you climb up. And you get up to the door and the door handle is below my hip. Like, it is really low. And so I was like, what is up with this? And Sean was telling me, I guess, like, back in the day, there was some kind of job or something.
It was the World War II airplane assembly factory in Willow Run in Ypsilanti,
Yeah.
which is real close to that section of Ann Arbor, where they needed little people to
literally.
work inside the planes to get
Wow.
into those places.
I had no idea.
Normal,
Right?
normal normal-sized folk can't fit. So,
Yeah.
actually, there's a lot of buildings in the city of Ann Arbor and Ypsi with those door handles.
Yeah. Oh,
Very
that's cool.
accommodating.
Yeah,
too.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
But-
we ended up talking to the owner of the bar, and she said, "Yeah, it's the original door from there. They've refurbished it once before." So, but I was like, that's like history in the making. But anyway, so we walk into this place, and they have an upstairs. Right when you walk in, it's to the left hand side. You walk in, go around, and there's the bar, and it is Cheers, man. It is your classic looking bar, and it's cool. The bartender at the time was Bill. I see.
Bill.
Yeah, it was Bill,
Bill.
right? Yeah. So say we had a bet on it and we all lost.
Yeah.
What his name was, but he was super cool. He got us, our drinks, and we're just sitting there talking. And at one point, I get up and I'm like, "Oh, I've got the bladder of a squirrel. Where's this restroom that you talk about?" And they're like, "Oh, it's downstairs, on the left hand side." And so I go downstairs, I go use the bathroom, and as I come out, I realize that to my left, outside of the bathroom, there's like a closed off section. I thought it was like an office or something, and then nosy little me, I go peek my eyes through or whatever, and it's like, it looks like it used to be like a pool barn,
Yeah.
right? Or a billiards area. And I was like, hey, this is kind of cool. There's like a second bar down here and all this. Look at all this space for activities, right? And so I go back upstairs and I'm telling you and Sean about it. We're like, oh, that's kind of cool. And Bill's like, oh oh yeah, we rent out the space, for different events and stuff like that. And I go, oh really? And this is me never shutting off my stupid brain. But I guess you could say it was paid off in the end. It turns out the bar owner.
Megan,
thank you. She's like, yeah, we rent it out. If you guys want, we can save the date for you guys. You're more than welcome to come in, do whatever you want. They have a group that goes in, I guess, once a month and plays darts. And so they rent it out, right, for that. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So she takes us down there and we're checking it out. And I'm like, dude, you could fit a few tables down here. Yes. Dude, we could play Warhammer down here.
Dude, we could build bunk beds.
It really did. And it just kind of escalated from there. And so I was talking with you and Sean, and we were like, well, I guess we could try and do something like that. And then it dawned on me, for the Golden Rhino that's coming up this year, I needed to purchase some folding tables anyway. So I was like, well, Megan, how many do you have? She's like, oh, we have 4. I'm like, so that's basically 2 6-foot tables to play on when you put them together. I'm like, okay, well, how many do we think we can fit? So, Chris, me and you went back a week later and measured it out.
I didn't know Ian had a tape measure at the time, and I was just down there with Ian and Megan, and we were like, "Oh, well, what do you think like this?" And Ian's like, and I'm like, "Whoa, that is super cool and also super nerdy at the same time."
It was so bad, yeah.
Just tape measure, Warhammer 1.
Yep. Gotta have that Citadel,
She was super impressed.
But we measured it out. And we're like, I think we can comfortably fit 8 tables. Right? And we have all these mats from doing all our battle reports, and we need to build terrain for stuff that's coming up anyway. Well, screw it. We're just going to do it, right? We're just going to...
Almost too easy.
Yeah, so we're like, all right, well, when can we do it? And I literally just threw a dart on a Saturday night on a day, and like, oh, well, that's Memorial Day weekend. We're not going to get a whole lot of people. Everyone's going to be out of town. Whatever. We'll just try it out, right? In the first 10 hours, we had 58 people say they were coming to this event.
It was huge.
I'm like, okay. And mind you, guys, if you're listening to this right now, our Facebook page is not the most active thing in the world. We don't get a whole lot of time that we can post stuff.
Most of our content just goes to YouTube.
Yeah, it really is, right? And so I was like, whatever, we're going to try it out. So, Chris, you had some ideas for that you were bouncing around.
Did I?
You did.
You're going to need to lead me here a little bit. I don't know what you're talking about. I forgot that.
Well, because we were talking about how we could do we're going to do a three round thing or whatever. I'm like, bro, it's from 8:30 at the earliest till 1 a.m. We can't...
Making it a league. Making it... Oh, I did come up with that. I'm
so
smart.
So, and then I was like, well, why don't we just do it like a one-off event, and if we do it again, cool, but it can be kind of like a semi-reoccurring thing or whatever. Yeah. And you're like, well, let's do the Beer and Pretzels bash. Yeah. And I'm like, actually, Beer and Pretzels has always been referred to a style of gameplay. Yeah. Sure, why not? So that was perfect.
We played Drunken Commander, which was awesome.
Okay, so for any of you who don't know, I and a few of my friends like to call Maelstrom of War missions Drunken Commander. Because turn 1, you're going to draw your 3 cards and be like, go get objective 1, kill this guy, and secure objective 2. And then the next turn you're like, oh, objective 1 is useless. Go get objective 4 and get out of your deployment zone. You're just running around like an idiot with your head cut off, right?
Drunken Squirrel Commander.
Yeah. So I was like, why don't we make actual Drunken Commander? Right? So, Chris, we had a list of 16 people. Okay. And I sent them over to you because that's all the room we had for it. It was comfortable, but it was
roomy, but it was you couldn't fit in.
There's no way. There's no way we could fit another table in there.
Because you fit more people though.
Yeah, we had about 25, 26 people in and out down there.
Spectating, some of the regulars heard our wah and came down there and saw what the commotion was.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But the team everyone brought an army that was I could match them up with a very thematic army on a sweet board. The ice board I put Space Wolves and Thousand Suns on there.
Yep.
I had a Catachan table or a very grassy. I put Catachans. I forget who played on that one.
Sean
had to fill in.
Yeah, Sean had to fill in. Yeah.
So it wasn't as themey army, but I had Death Guard versus
Ultramarines.
I had
yeah.
Death Watch versus Eldari.
Yeah.
It was sweet, man.
Yeah.
It worked out real
Imperial
well.
Fists versus Black Legion.
Yup,
Yeah.
yup.
So, and the thing that I thought was really cool is we asked everybody to please bring a painted army. At least 3 colors. Get some, and we had a lot of people just show up and be like, I worked really hard this week to get this done. Like Kevin showed up with his Black Legion that I hadn't seen Kevin in like forever,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh, I really want to be there, and I'm like, dude, you're awesome. And every table looked super cool.
Yeah.
Rob had to fill in because we did end up having one guy drop out literally the day of, and we're like, all right, no big deal. We've got like a waiting list of people, but Rob had his White Scars army there, and John Funk, he shows up with his orcs, and they looked awesome.
Yeah, I saw him at the store earlier that day. He's like, I'm painting.
Yep. So I love events like this where it really gets people motivated to have those painted armies and stuff. And man, it was a ton of fun. But Drunken Commander, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay, so Josh, you weren't there.
So I was not there. Yeah.
So I'll fill you in. This is how we played it, right? So me and you, we're gonna play a game, right? It was Race to Victory from Chapter Approved, and we modified it to 12 objectives. So in Race to Victory, the first person to complete all of their objectives, or I think it gives you a number. It recommends 10. I bumped it to 12. So the first person to complete the 12 objectives ends the game and immediately scores D3 bonus objectives, or D3 victory points, right? But then you would tally up to see who would score the most. Because there could have been like 5 that I'm like, oh, I got 3 and 4 points on these 2 alone, and canceled out a bunch of your ones, right? So to make it interesting, what we did is everybody had to bring their tactical objective cards. You'd shuffle them up and you'd pass them to your opponent. Your opponent would take the deck and draw the 6 cards off the top right away, and then hand it back to you. You'd fan the deck out, and they would pick out another 6 cards, and that's it. That's all the cards you got to play with.
Nice.
With the exception of is if you got kill an enemy flyer, but your opponent doesn't have anything with fly or as a battle, right?
You're stuck with it.
Or you're stuck with it. What I said was rather than being able to pay command points, discard or whatever, you had to buy your opponents a beer.
Oh, I love it.
And
Nice.
so there was a lot of times where guys were like, well, there's 3 beers for you. And the waitress had such a hard time keeping up. It was kind of hilarious.
Ashley, if you're listening to this, I doubt you're listening to the Warhammer podcast.
Ashley,
you are awesome. And thank you so much. Super big shout out to
Oh my
Banfields and Ashley, especially. She was rocking and rolling.
Absolutely. She single-handedly did that whole event with us by herself.
Yeah.
There was one other bartender that was upstairs that was like, keeping whatever people were up there, but she was just bouncing in and out and in and out. And at one point she's like, I gotta go take her break. I'm like, go, get out of here. We'll wrangle the cats without you.
Yeah.
Hopefully people tipped well.
Oh,
She had to run up and down stairs from what I heard.
Yeah. So
we made an announcement. Tip your waitress. That's
right. Well, the funny thing is, or I guess I shouldn't say so funny, was we said we were buying everybody their first round.
Yeah.
Right? Well, she forgot about that and put that on everybody's bill. So she comes down like parading, showing off her boa of receipt tickets that are just dragging on the floor, and had to redo them all.
I did not know that.
I felt so bad.
sucks.
And I'm like, no, we need to buy the first one for everybody. She's like, oh, no. And so she had to run upstairs and do that. But she corrected it. It was good. Everything was covered, which was great. It was way more fun than I can even remember.
Yeah. How's your hand, Ian?
Shut up.
Ian, I see the big Band-Aid now.
So, I don't know why you guys think that me drinking is a good idea.
Because you do things like John Woo over a bar. There were doves flying.
Those weren't doves, those were cocktail napkins. No, so at one point, myself, Chris, and Sierra,
Sean's wife, who was DJing. Thanks, Sierra. Awesome work.
She was kicking butt. It was great. But we're all chilling back behind the counter. I'm like checking the Facebook live feed. I think. Actually, I really don't remember what I was doing back there now.
We were behind the bar, which is cool by itself. Like, I'm always on the other side of the bar.
Right.
So I'm on this side of the bar, like, trying to be Tom Cruise from Cocktails. And then after a few drinks, I became Patrick Swayze from Roadhouse, and at the end of the night, I was a drunk guy, regretting his decisions.
Yeah. So So anyway, I was a few in at this point, I'm trying to think. So I had 2 beers when we got there. We did a round of shots. We then did Irish car bombs and finished it up with another beer after that.
Oh.
So at this point, things are going great.
We're doing good.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, I see my buddy Ed show up. He comes into my store all the time. Super cool guy. And he comes in. He said he really wanted to be there, but he couldn't because he had, things he had to do at home. And I was like, you know what, Ed, do what you got to do, man. Right? Family comes first. Take care of him. And Ed shows up, and I see him come in, and I'm just like, it's Ed. It's Ed Mundo. Ed, I'm coming to get you. And I go to turn to my right to get by you, Chris. And Sierra and Ashley are at the other end. I'm like, I can't get past you. What do I do? And without even thinking about it, I just pole vaulted the bar.
I'm sure. Don't do that if you come to the Beer and Pretzels League next.
Do not.
And you're not allowed to do that again, man.
So the real question is, there was live stream set up. Was it captured on the live stream?
I have no idea.
Check.
No, because I at that point moved it to a table.
Yeah, we were filming one of the tables. And so I made it over the table, and I run up and I give Egg a big double slap on the back. I'm like, Ed, it's so good to see you. And all of a sudden I go, ow, my hand kind of hurts. And I see Eddie and Holden sitting there in their chairs going, dude, you're bleeding. And I was
at Denny's with him later that night after it closed down. And he showed me his shirt where you gave him the big hug. There's blood on it.
Oh, I feel so bad now. I didn't realize that. I flayed myself, man.
Yeah.
I look like I have 3rd-degree burns.
Oh, wow.
The fingerprints are gone off of my 2 front fingers and like where they connected, and there's it hurts.
The perfect shot. So yeah, it was it was a celebration. It was Memorial Day weekend.
Absolutely was.
It was our first thing like that. It was all people like we knew, and it was an amazing time, and the staff was awesome.
Yeah.
So I think you're allowed 1 pole vault over 1 bar in your lifetime.
Yeah.
But it'll never be it.
Next time, Chris, can you just bring your taser and just hit me?
I'll bring a bottle of water.
Yeah, because it was immediately after that. I had to go outside. Peter, thankfully, showed up. He was just there spectating, taking some pictures and stuff. He's like, I have a first aid kit in my car. I'm like, that's awesome.
Peter has everything.
I go out there and he's got like the biggest bandages possible. He's got like Neosporin and everything, and he just bandages me up, and I'm like, thank you. I don't know what I would do without you right now. I'd probably be bleeding out on the basement floor of Banfield's Bar and Grill in Ann Arbor. But
It got a little crazy, but not too crazy.
No,
it was perfect. I think me and you, Ian, were the drunkest people there because we weren't playing games. We were just sitting there drinking.
There was another Peter that was keeping up with us, and Cam was looking pretty good too.
Yeah, good work, Cam.
That's right. Yeah.
Special shout out to Cam. He bought me a drink, and then I was like, dude, I'm going to get you another drink. And he's like, that's what you always say. I'm like, shut up, Cam. I didn't get him another drink. Cam, I owe you. I'm getting you a couple drinks. I promise. Sorry, man.
And dude, that whole night was just awesome. It was Warhammer, it was dice rolling, it was beers and pretzels and chicken fingers and
Sounds absolutely awesome.
battle wounds
And the music soundtrack.
That's right. That's right.
It was sweet.
Yeah, that worked out great.
I had like a special request thing, so people could come up and
Little
request
sheets
their
of paper.
song. Yeah, napkins.
There you go.
The flying John Woon doves.
Yeah. Man, they were everywhere. That was bad.
We stayed after and cleaned up. So.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I've got to take a quick pause and say is everybody that was there and participated, thank you.
Yeah.
We had that place broke down in under 15 minutes.
Holy crap.
Every table,
That's
all
awesome.
the terrain and everything was taken outside in under 30.
And they helped us set it up too.
Yeah, like at one point,
so
Ashley's
great.
like, "Oh, well, if you need to stay a little bit late, it's fine." She comes back down with the next set of receipts and goes, "Oh my God, you guys are done already!"
Gamers get it done.
Like,
man.
we just got it done. It was like Adepticon all over again.
Yeah.
We had that place just down.
Yeah.
It seemed like a really smoothly run event, no issues. I mean, just overall.
For the most part, yeah.
I think we really tried to like say, "Hey guys, this is for fun.
Yeah,
have fun.
exactly.
Come
Yeah.
have fun. This isn't this." The only thing this means is hanging out with your friends and playing the game you want to play, your favorite game. And I think we achieved that.
Absolutely.
Mission accomplished.
That's right. So needless to say, we got to do it again.
Yeah, you gotta be there this time, Josh.
That's right, Josh.
Oh, dude, I was so bummed I couldn't go.
Where'd you go?
I went to St. Louis.
All
St.
right.
Louis to visit some friends.
Oh, well, that's good.
No beer and pretzels down there. Yeah. But, Yeah. So what's the cadence for it then? You gonna do it monthly or just gonna do it again? Any type
I
of
would
thoughts on
love
that?
to say monthly, but I think monthly is too ambitious.
Yeah.
I think probably once every 3 months or once every good holiday.
Okay.
Because totally up to you guys. We'll see. Please do not quote me on this. But I was thinking 4th of July would be awesome to go to Kensington and get one of the gazebo areas and do it outdoors and do like a barbecue. And
It's tough though. you
I
know.
knew, right?
the
Right.
heat.
Models are a little light. If there's a good wind, there goes your table.
So we're
right?
in a gazebo. It's good. It's good. But we'll do something like that. The only thing that we had talked about that we said we probably do for sure was something for Veterans Day
Yeah.
in
Sure.
November.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which would probably be right back at Banfield's because that
Yeah.
place was awesome.
That's my new favorite bar.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Nice. So yeah, we'll post up the details either on Facebook or on the website and get that sorted out.
Absolutely.
Cool. Any closing thoughts on Beer and Pretzels? Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Just it was an amazing time.
was.
Keep posting our Facebook page. That's probably when we'll post our next event. So if you're not on our Facebook page, like, subscribe, you'll get
All
the
that stuff.
information.
And the other thing too is that if you want to go to something like this, tell us.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
I literally did this on a fluke thinking that we'd get like 8 people and we'd hang out and just, play a game. Like, Chris, if it was me, you, and Sean playing a game down in the basement, I would have been fine with that.
Yeah.
We had full 16 people and then spectators.
Yeah.
Like, it was jammed. It was a ton of fun. If you want to do this with us, please let us know.
Yeah, message us on Facebook.
Yeah,
Email
yeah.
us. I mean, talk to us.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, find us on the streets.
Yeah, that's right.
We're here.
That's right. So,
Cool. Well, I think that'll close it out. Thanks for listening, everybody. We're Purge the Alien. I'm Josh.
I'm Ian.
And this is Chris.
Don't be a filthy heretic.
And Purge that alien.
And don't jump over bars.
Don't do that. Don't.
All rights for this episode and its content are reserved by the Creative Commons license. Instrumental music, sound effects, and the episode were produced by Purge the Alien.
Come, brothers, let us purge the alien.